Okay, I think we're live. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you this evening?
I am well rested.
That's good. That's good news. Welcome to everyone joining us today for Wellness for You. Welcome back if you've joined us before, and if you're new, welcome to the group. It is May, and yeah, this is our Wellness for You session for the month. So, again, welcome. And remember that we're going to talk a little bit about a wellness topic today, but we really want you guys to provide comments and ask questions and lots of feedback so that we can keep it interactive and fun. And remember that you can actually win prizes for participation.
Yeah, and today's session is going to be a great one. But before we dive into that, just wanted to let you guys know that, since I want to say mid 2020, we've been doing this Wellness for You programming, and we've had a great time. We've covered a lot of different topics. And, with Wellness for You, we are always working on personalizing your health goals so you can succeed. One of the health goals that impacts us greatly is our sleep. And so today's session is going to be about that. But really quickly, if you saw our January 2021 session, we helped you create some SMART goals for the year. And many of you wanted to work on eating more healthfully, reaching a healthier weight, being more active, and getting quality sleep. So before we dive into our session on sleep, we want to just check in with you to see how you are doing with those goals that you first set back at the top of this year. So if you want to respond, if we have anyone tuning in right now, go ahead and put it in the comment section how you're doing with those goals. Because at this point, we are near the midway point of the year, right around the corner. Next week is June 1st, and that marks the halfway point of 2021. And so we just wanted to see how you guys are doing 6 months and almost 6 months into this year. How are you doing with the goals that you set in January?
And if you've kind of fallen off track, just remember, all of what we've talked about is on our NFP website or on Facebook, all of our sessions about all these different topics. So if you just need a little help getting back on track, maybe as a refresher, you could go back and watch some of our previous videos and take a look at some of the recipes we've prepared. Don't give up, even though it's, 6 months in.
Yeah, and let me check really quick to see if we have any comments. I don't see anything yet, but I second that with Kelly. Don't give up. This is a journey. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And you go through a lot of different thoughts when you're doing a marathon. But for some of us, when you're doing, a 5-10 minute walk, you want to give up. Things get hard. It gets uncomfortable. And you just talk yourself through it. You make one small step at a time, and all those tiny steps add up. And before you know it, you reach the finish line. But this thing called life is ongoing. So as long as we are living and breathing, we have the next minute, the next second to do even more to improve our health and overall well-being than we had the previous minute or second. So let me check really quick, see if we have anything in the comments. And if not, me and Kelly, we can update you on our goals. If I don't want to say if we remember them, because I feel like I had 3 goals. Sleep was definitely one. Sleep was definitely one. So let me check really quick if we have anything. And Kelly, while I'm checking, if you want to elaborate on how you're doing at this point in the year with your goal.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I have spoken to so many patients over the last couple of months, and they have like introduced me to some new apps and some new strategies and techniques for just relaxing. And that was my goal, was to just like end the day on a positive note, not be too stressed, manage my stress levels. And so with a little bit of support and help from patients and family members and everybody, I'm feeling pretty good about my goal. So at this point in time, I might switch it up a little bit and start working on the next thing. I don't remember what my second goal was, but I feel like it might have been sleep too. So this is a very timely session because we're going to talk about ways to get healthy sleep.
Yeah, and I feel like all of us, any caregiver, any working adult, whether you work outside your home or not, sleep should always be one of the top goals that we have, so we can just operate more efficiently, and kind of do away with the brain fog and really take care of ourselves. It's so important to take care of ourselves, in an effort to take care of other people. So, I don't see any comments right now. So, but as people come on, feel free to share with us how you are doing with your goals. If there is no shame, this is all about a support system. And so, what you might be struggling with, somebody else might be struggling with. And if we can help, you know, 2, 1, 3, 4, 10 people at a time or more, you just never know who else, you know, is going through something similar like you. And we could all assist one another during this time. Yeah. So, really quick, I just want to highlight again, I think I've said it like 5 times, that we're going to focus on sleep this month, during this session. And this month is actually Better Sleep Month. It is a nationally celebrated health focus, in the US. And so we want to highlight that, this month, because again, it is so, so very important. And I don't know if I couldn't see, but I don't know if we put the logo up there, but I would love for you guys to see, the Sleep Health logo so you guys can become familiar with it. You know, this might have been the first time that you may have been made aware that it is a month to celebrate sleep. So we are all about naps. We are all about getting your, you know, however many hours you need, for your individual health and well-being, to operate at an optimal level. So definitely celebrate May, and all the months upcoming, by getting some sleep. I know May is almost done, but please get your sleep. Don't fall asleep right now, though. You know, so wait, engage with us, and then, you know, later on, fall asleep.
I mean, we all do it. We all sleep. In fact, we spend a third of our lives asleep. And so when you think of it that way, a 75-year-old person will have spent 25 years of their life sleeping. So, you know, it's something that impacts all of us. And as you know, Wellness for You, we're always striving to kind of cover every dimension of wellness, not just physical or like nutrition all the time. Although we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition today. But if you remember the dimensions of wellness, which ones do you think that sleep impacts other than just physical? Because we know that, you know, physically getting rest is important, but what other kind of areas of wellness do you think it's important to get sleep for? And I'll give everybody a couple seconds to provide some answers. I don't think we showed the prizes that we have available, but if we're able to kind of show everybody to motivate you to make comments and to answer our questions, looks like we got some great sleep related items there.
Yeah, this is going to be a great, raffle prize for folks. As long as you engage, you share, you like, just jump in on the discussion and let us know how things are going for you. You have a sound spa, you have, some diffusers there, very calming, some different options, some essential oils. So those are great, tools to add to your sleep health kit. Yeah.
And we do have a guess. Someone's asking if maybe the emotional dimension is impacted by enough sleep or lack of sleep. And I'd say yes,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. So as a reminder to folks out there, why don't we show the 8 dimensions, and then maybe that'll prompt you to think a little more deeply about the sleep that you're getting or missing and how it could be impacting just your overall well-being, you know, occupationally, intellectually. Just studies show that getting enough sleep makes us more alert and more aware. Students perform better when they get enough sleep. So it kind of makes sense that from an intellectual standpoint, an occupational standpoint, getting enough sleep is important. What else? Social, spiritual, just being in a better mood because you got a good night's sleep, I think could impact our social well-being too.
Yeah, and then to kind of continue on that thought process with the different dimensions of wellness, just your overall well-being, your whole person, your sleep impacts you in every single fashion. So it impacts your ability to make decisions that are in your well-being and the well-being of others, right? And we'll go into that further as we continue. But one thing I wanted to hit on is the physical fitness and your nutrition, and we'll go into that further as well. But sleep really is the number one thing to focus on when you are trying to improve your overall health and wellness. If you are not getting enough sleep, you are lacking on energy, and therefore we look to reach for items to provide us energy, and it tends to be temporary and temporary sources of energy. But then we crash. So we'll talk about that more. But when you don't have energy, you really are not thinking about getting some physical activity in, right? But sleep impacts your mood to even want to do it. And then your physical activity also impacts your sleep. So it's really a cycle that goes on when it comes to sleep, but more to come with that.
And I think sleep is like a really hot topic right now. I know that in my wellness visits with patients, I mean, I'm asking a lot of nutrition questions, but sleep always comes up because, a lot of times people are eating late at night, or maybe their caffeine intake throughout the day is affecting their sleep. And so I always talk about sleep health in addition to good nutrition and exercise. I'm wondering, what kind of issues does our audience have with sleep? What kind of barriers are you facing to getting good sleep? And please just put them in the comment section so that we can address them today and make sure we answer any questions that you have. But I mean, let's start talking about sleep just in as the definition of, what are we talking about here? Sleep. So I'm going to show you the stages of sleep. If you didn't already know, we go through these stages of sleep, or this cycle, every night that we're asleep. Each cycle that you're like seeing on your screen here is about 90 minutes. And each stage is very important. So it's important that we get through each stage, complete the cycle a number of times, because those last couple of stages, like the deep sleep and the REM sleep or REM sleep, those are where we are most likely to dream. This is where we're getting like the most rest. So you can see here where if you take like little 15-minute jogs of sleep and then you're waking up, you're never quite reaching those beneficial stages of sleep. What you're seeing here, the first stage is called the cat nap stage. So it's kind of when you're like drifting off. Number 2 is the power nap stage. So it's a little deeper of a sleep. You're really getting some rest. 3 and 4 stages are that deeper sleep, that REM sleep or REM. And REM stands for rapid eye movement. There's a lot of research that goes into like what's happening when we're asleep. And they're really looking at like what's happening in stages 3 and 4, because that's when we are just out. But we all have what's called a circadian rhythm. It's just the way that our brain tells our body, hey, it's time to go to sleep. It's kind of responsible for saying it's getting dark outside. You've just gotten through, probably like a 12-hour day or something like that. So it starts to adjust and tell us that it's time to go to sleep. And if you didn't know, it's also not possible to really make up for sleep lost or to like bank your hours of sleep. You saw that cycle there. If you're not going through that cycle a couple times in a night, you can't like make up for it later. So unfortunately, we have to work on like making sure that we're getting good quality sleep most nights if possible.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a major point, that banking hours. How many of you out there have thought, oh, well, I just catch up on some sleep tomorrow over the weekend, and you try to sleep more than normal to catch up, and you're just out of that rhythm that your body needs. So thank you for pointing that out, Kelly. We do have a couple of people. Hi, Christina. Hi, Angela. They put in there some barriers that they have with falling asleep or getting back to sleep. And we're going to talk more about the barriers at the end. But Christina put that she has a very energetic 3.5-year-old. We miss him with night terrors. Completely understand that. So we'll talk more about some solutions on how to overcome that could be helpful to overcome some of those barriers, so you can get a restful night's sleep, because you'll need some energy to match that 3.5-year-old, I tell you. And then Angela put that I have problems getting back to sleep. So what that sounds to me is that she may be able to go to sleep, but she gets woke up for some reason in the middle of the night and have a hard time going back to sleep. Yeah, I completely understand that. Yes, so let's really quickly, and we'll give you guys some tips and tricks towards the end with how to overcome those barriers. But I want to shift gears a little bit. We've been talking about somewhat, but just going over some of the health benefits of a good night's sleep, of making sure that you are well rested. So the importance of sleep: it helps to repair and heal and grow muscles and tissues like blood cells. It helps to strengthen your immune system. And I know that during this time of COVID, we have heard that word immunity and immune system like no other time before. People who are in the healthcare system, we tend to hear that a lot. But people outside, if that's not something that is a part of your regular conversation, your immune system, you definitely probably have become somewhat experts of the immune system since COVID has, entered our life back in 2020. Aside from strengthening your immune system, it helps to make hormones. So it helps to regulate things like our weight, our metabolism, our appetite, and energy. And I can speak to this very, very strongly outside of like the healthcare hat, my personal experience. When I am not getting my sleep, like I told you earlier, that I was speaking from experience, I am trying to get things. And it's not me, myself, it's my brain needing the energy. My body systems need the energy that I depleted myself of because I didn't get a full night rest. So then my brain is like, you need this, and I'm going to things like chocolate, right? Like high sugar substances. I do not drink tea. I do not drink coffee, but I drink tea, and some teas have caffeine in it. So I still get like that little jolt. So kind of searching for things that provide that temporary energy is what we run into when we do not get enough sleep. So sleep impacts our ability to maintain, to lose weight, to have a high metabolism, and to have a healthy appetite, okay? It is important that we let our mind rest, because in addition to all these physical components, your weight and all of that, when you are not well rested, I'm sure many of you have heard of this term over the past 2 or 3 years. What we experience is brain fog. And so just like regular fog that we see out in the community during those times of the year, it's hard for you to see clearly. It's hard for you to see clearly. It's hard for you to make out images, not too far away or far away. It's very dark. It's very clouded. And our brain might be going however many miles per hour. So being well rested is super crucial because it helps with our memory. It helps with our ability to be able to concentrate and focus. So that goes to our children as well, right? I know many parents might struggle with getting their babies down for whatever reason, but it's so important that they are also well rested, especially if they go to a traditional school. They have tests, they have to sit in class, and it is very hard for kiddos to sit for long periods of time anyway, let alone concentrate when they don't get enough rest. So sleep is very important across the board for everybody in your household. Again, it impacts our ability to be alert, to have balance, to balance out, heavy or very, very heavy workloads. It's hard for us to make very clear, concise decisions. It absolutely impacts our mood. So we want better moods. We definitely want to sleep. Don't go into hibernation mode during the wintertime, but you definitely want to make sure you have enough rest so it increases your mood. And it also reduces your stress. So those things are major when it comes to the benefits of sleep. So make sure you get the sleep. And we have some resources that you guys can lean on in the future and refer to after this discussion, because I know it's a lot of content, but it literally impacts every part of your overall health and well-being. And I'll say this one thing briefly, Kelly. I was informing them that I used to take these things called Oprah naps. And I first heard of it with Oprah and Dr. Oz. And I started a long time ago, and I would use like part of my lunch break or my 15-minute break long time ago to eat and then take a brief nap. And the food that I would eat would be just enough to fuel me, the right kind of foods. And then I would take a little Oprah nap, a little power nap is what we call them now. But it's like literally 10 to 15 minutes. You're just closing your eyes, you're at your desk or whatever space that you occupy, and you allow your brain to settle, allow things to calm for you. And that also helps you to reduce stress in the middle of a hectic day. And once you have that time, you do not get into that REM sleep. But once you have that 10, 15 minutes, once you go back to work, you literally feel like you have gotten a boost of energy, like you took an energy pill or you drunk coffee. But it is a natural way to reset yourself, get some natural energy, and then you get a boost of it to make it through that afternoon period, especially during the 3 o'clock period. And you're not leaning to chocolate. That's really me. So try that out. Let us know how that go for you. I can attest myself, and I've gotten a lot more people to take power naps or Oprah naps over the years, and it definitely benefits them tremendously. So try it out and make sure you report back on our Wellness for You Facebook group so I can hear how it went for you and if it was a benefit.
That's a great suggestion. I was joking earlier that, maybe we could use this 45-minute session to just all take a power nap and then, but just kidding. We're talking about how to get this good, healthy sleep. And maybe you guys don't even know where you're at right now, like whether you're getting enough or not enough or what the quality of your sleep is. And a real easy way to assess that is to just compare it to what the current recommended number of hours is. So does anybody have an idea of how many hours the average adult, like age 18 to 64, should get in a night? So again, use the chat feature for this, but let us know what you think. How many hours of sleep should we be getting? And this is the most easy way to assess if you're falling short or, need to work on this a little bit. All right, we're getting some answers, which is great.
8 hours. I know I cannot function with less than 8 hours. I feel jittery on the inside.
Yeah.
Like I was deprived. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, in addition to like the number of hours, we're going to talk about ways to assess the quality of sleep that you're getting. So the first step is determining, all right, how much sleep am I getting? How many hours? And it looks like everybody's on the right track. We're getting 8 hours, 7 or 8, up to 9. And actually, guys are all correct. The recommended amount of sleep for an average adult is between 7 and 9 hours. So you're right in there. And I believe Angela was the one first correct answer. So congratulations, Angela. So you guys know how many hours you should be getting. Let's take a look at maybe some other age groups. So for those of you that do have toddlers or younger children or adolescents even, is their sleep recommendation any different? I know it's awfully small on here, but really the younger the person, the more sleep they need. And it just makes sense because like Michelle said, you're doing all that repair work and healing and growing when you're asleep. And obviously younger people are still growing. So they need more minutes or hours of sleep to get all that work done. And then as we age, we need a little less sleep overall. And then even beyond age 64, you can get away with more like 7 hours of sleep. But for the majority of us between the ages of 18 and 64, yeah, you're looking at like 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So that's the first way you can assess if you're anywhere close to the recommendation. But then it's helpful, I think, too, to think of other things like, can you fall asleep relatively easily at night? Or are you like laying in bed for more than 30 minutes and not able to drift off? That could be an issue. Are you waking up a lot throughout the night, and why? And I know someone mentioned on the chat that that's one of their roadblocks, is like they're kind of waking up in the middle of the night. And if you do wake up in the middle of the night, how fast can you fall back asleep? Is it a quick thing, or, again, are you laying there for a half an hour? Other things to think about: are you able to wake up easily, or are you just like dead to the world in the morning? And do you feel well rested when you do get up? Also, think about how you feel during the day. Are you like really sleepy? Do you have to take frequent naps? Are you falling asleep at inappropriate times? Like I was telling Michelle about, my brother-in-law seems to just fall asleep at every family function, no matter the noise level or what's going on. I think he's struggling with getting good quality sleep because he just seems to be like falling asleep anywhere and everywhere. And then, are you having to rely on supplements or energy drinks, or even caffeine? Many of us feel a little tired and maybe not so high energy during the day. And like right away, our thoughts go to, oh, I need a cup of coffee. I need some more of that caffeine or that chocolate, or, I need more water. And that could be the case. But it could just be the quality of your sleep is suffering. So we've provided a resource on our website that is a sleep diary. And so what this allows you to do is, like, for maybe a week or two, you can just kind of take some notes. So like waking up in the morning, just jot down, what time did you go to sleep? What time did you wake up? How did you feel when you woke up? Were you pretty well rested? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how rested did you feel? Also, how many times did you wake up throughout the night? Things like that. So you're just kind of keeping a little diary, because you might not have put a lot of thought into this. So this will give you like a good solid week of notes to look at, okay, what do I have to focus on? And which of these barriers can I work on right away to start getting better quality sleep? And I know there's some apps that can help you do this too, if you don't care to do it on paper. And I know Michelle has some experience with some of these apps.
Yes, I actually, full disclosure, I cannot go to sleep without this one app that I've been using since my colleague Abby told me about it. I feel like it's been 2 years at this point, and I cannot fall asleep without it. So I think we have an image, there it goes, of some common sleep apps. The one that I use is the Insight Timer. So that one for me was sent from above because it really helps me to calm my brain down, turn it off, and go to sleep. Calm is one of the newer ones. You may have seen people like LeBron James or other celebrities promoting that one. It is a cost associated with that one to really get the benefits of that app, but they do have some free versions on there that you can enjoy until you're ready to make the purchase. And then MyFitnessPal also have some support with you tracking your sleep patterns on there. But to really give you an insight on the Insight Timer, that was a little, play on words. I want to do a really quick, brief demo, real live demo on my phone. Don't judge me for all the apps I have on here. Is it too bright, Kelly? Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, let me move it over there. So let me see if I can do it straight. So this is the app. It looks just like what you've seen on the little picture. And then this is how the screen looks when it comes up. And so I only use it for sleep, but it's a lot of different options here that you can use this app for. You can do meditation in the middle of the day, things to just calm your energy, improve your mood. But I go right here where the moon symbol is, and it says sleep. Let me keep it here in the center. And then this screen pops up, and new releases is an option, but I found the perfect one that I use every night now. But I used to go to new releases and you just scroll through. They have tons of different options. But when I click on, sleep music, this screen pops up. And so these images, once you click on it, it gives you different options. But once you click on it, you get to play it. underneath it, you might not be able to see it, but it's times. So I normally choose things 60 minutes or plus, but like you have some that's 19 minutes, 20 minutes, 92 minutes. But this is my favorite one that I use every night. You see that one? The picture looks peaceful. So I just click on it. It is a 60-minute one. And then it turns. No, that's not. Is that the one? Hold on. Yep, that's the one. My apologies. It says deep sleep. Underneath, it tells you what it is for too. So I need something that's going to put me in a deep sleep and turn off my brain. And it give you like a description down here of what you can expect from this specific music that you choose. It's tones, it's beats, it's very, very soothing. And then I'm gonna play it for you really quick. I just hit this little button. No, I don't want to give it a try. Get off of there. Hold on. It's messing up my demo. So this is the screen. It kind of looks like outer space. I really like that too. I'm not sure if you can hear it. It might let you hear it. But it's very soothing. Can you hear it at all?
I can hear it a little bit.
Yeah. So it's extremely soothing. So it's not loud. I just leave it on my dresser. It has a timer. So you see that there. That's why it's called Insight Timer. Once that time is up, it immediately shuts off. So you don't have to keep track of it. And then it's off while you are fast asleep. I don't make it probably past 10 minutes and I'm out. It literally helps me shut my brain down. I mean, I don't fully shut my brain down, but shut my brain down enough where I'm not thinking about what I have to do tomorrow or what I forgot. So a little brief demo on that great app. And I've been using it for at least, I feel like it's been 2 years, and it's completely free. So take advantage of it, and you don't have to worry about commercials like YouTube. You know, when you're on YouTube, you have commercials. You don't have to worry about that. And you can have that playing, you know, just in the background when you're at work, when you just need to zone out the kids or anything. It's really, really helpful.
Wow, that's a really nice one. I love the timer feature. I like that, you know, you don't have to have something playing all night long or worry about like the TV on all night or waking you up eventually. I think I heard somewhere that like when you're watching TV and you drift off to sleep, that the commercials come on louder than whatever show you're watching or movie you're watching. And they do that on purpose. In the event that you did fall asleep, then the volume of the ad wakes you up so that you're like seeing the commercial and you don't miss it, you know? So, yeah, I love that, like soothing music. And there are a ton of resources to find stuff like that. You don't have to invest in CDs or anything like that, any music. You know, these apps provide like really soothing sounds or soothing music. I know that there are some apps too that there are people that like speak in very soothing voices and kind of lull you off to sleep. So that's great. And I forgot to mention this. One of the resources that I use a lot in wellness is a list of apps for keeping track of like your food intake and your exercise. But also we have a list of really nice relaxation apps and like meditation apps. And I'm going to make sure that the 3 that we're talking about today are that they show up on that list. And then we'll make that list available on the website too. But if you guys are aware of any other apps that are good for this or that you use regularly, please let us know. You can let us know right now on the chat or get in touch with myself or Michelle and just let us know what can help other folks out. And I'll put it on that list. We mentioned MyFitnessPal, and I just use that when I wear my Fitbit, it talks to MyFitnessPal, and then I can check that app. And at the end of the night, it'll tell me like how restless I was. It kind of shows you a bar graph of like how much time you were spending like really not moving very much, assuming that you're in like those later stages of sleep. And then how many times I was tossing and turning and maybe up using the bathroom or going to get a drink of water or something too. So yeah, there's all kinds of apps and maybe some stuff that's already incorporated into the apps you're using for other things, like the MyFitnessPal. Angela said she uses Luna. So there's another option.
I have to check that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about like using devices and the screens and stuff like that as it relates to sleep. But there are definitely helpful apps out there. Now, it's possible that, you know, you do this assessment and you just figure out that you're just not getting quality sleep, that there's some kind of barrier there. And, there are legitimate reasons why people are not getting quality sleep. It could be environmental factors, behavioral factors. Sometimes it's underlying medical issues that are preventing people from getting good sleep. Things like being overweight affects quality sleep. Certain medications definitely affect sleep. Severe depression and even chronic pain. Some people report that they're having pain throughout the night and it's waking them up. So there are legitimate sleep disorders. What we know is that between 50 and 70 million Americans have insomnia. And if you haven't heard that term before, it encompasses a lot of things. It could be like you have trouble falling asleep. After like 45 minutes goes by, you're still just wide awake. You have issues staying asleep or not feeling well rested when you wake up. That all fits under the umbrella of insomnia, and many Americans struggle with that. And then we get into like the night terrors that were mentioned, or restless leg syndrome, sleep apnea, you may have heard of, sleepwalking, sleep paralysis, narcolepsy, which is like falling asleep at those inappropriate times. These all are legitimate medical issues that affect sleep. So if that's the case for someone that you know or yourself, you may consider reaching out to a specialist. There's people that work in sleep medicine that can set you up with a sleep study and kind of watch you while you sleep and see what's going on and see if there's some kind of medication or treatment that can maybe help you out. What we're going to talk about today are just some strategies to getting better sleep. But, if you're really struggling with something that you need to reach out, please, let us on the wellness team know, or your primary care provider, or your behavioral health professional, and they can get you connected with sleep medicine for that. Uh-oh, you're muted, Michelle.
Okay, there we go. I'm glad you pointed that out, because a lot of times we might overlook the signs and symptoms of something that is greater than just simply getting sleep. There could be a medical reason, a medical condition that you might have that you're not aware of that could be causing you to struggle with that. So absolutely take Kelly's advice and follow up with your primary care provider and get that support that you need. So we're gonna skip down a bit, and we're going to cover something else as it relates to sleep, which is extremely important. And this is around our routines. Routine is so important. And so when Kelly and I were talking about this, one thing that came to mind through our discussion is that we are, as adults, we are just the adult version of our kid self. I say that all the time. We are the adult version of our kid self. And those of us who have children or who care for children, we know how important it is for them to have a routine, a day-to-day routine throughout the day, a morning routine and night routine. It's super important. So for the kids out there that's listening, for the adults out there that's listening, routine is important. So when you are getting ready to go to sleep, before you go to sleep, you should have already done the things to kind of get yourself in a space, mental space, emotional space, energetic field around you that you can easily drift off to sleep. But we are in a time right now where we are so consumed by technology. It has our brains constantly going, even when we're not looking at the screen. So it's very important that we give ourselves time to kind of get into that space of, all right, body, it's time to go to bed. So really quickly, I'm going to ask, what are some things that are a part of your bedtime routine? What do you have going on with your bedtime routine? Now, this is a very trendy topic that we've been hearing about, right? Morning time routine and the bedtime routine. It is what I've noticed during COVID. Many adults really tap back into their younger selves. And they're like, we need morning routines. We need nighttime routines, because our routine is all out of whack once COVID hit, right? We were staying up later. We were eating whatever, we were all off. So tell me some of the things that you do as part of your bedtime routine, whether it's for you, your child, and or both. I see one coming in. So Madison says, I try not to be on my phone for a half an hour before I go to bed. That is a great practice to take on, Madison. Super important that we shut these phones down and actually shut them out of our room when we can, or at least on the other side of our room, hidden somewhere. But that is a great thing to focus on. Let's see if we get anything else. Kelly, do you have something that's unique to your bedtime routine?
Yeah, I set the goal of rereading all of Stephen King's books in order. When COVID hit, I'm like, I'm going to do this. And so part of my bedtime routine is reading a book. And it goes along with what Madison said. I shut off the screens. I try to get rid of any electronic type entertainment, and I read a book. And, you know, a lot of times I'm like engrossed in this book and can't put it down. And so I have to like physically put it down to get to sleep. Other times it's like the perfect thing to make me really sleepy so that I can drift off to sleep. But I like that as my quiet time, and just it's like a trigger for my body to know, okay, you know, it's time for resting and time for bed.
Yeah, those are excellent examples. That is all about transitioning your mind, your body to get ready to rest. So I'm going to read off. I don't see any other responses right now, but I'm going to read some things off that is definitely inclusive of some things that you guys said, but then also some things that I know to be true for myself and what is recommended out there by the sleep experts. Oh, really quick. Angela, she just put in there, I shut off all the lights to make it as dark as possible. Absolutely. So one thing that myself and Kelly, I know we talked about, we have, is these handy dandy eye masks.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We actually were supposed to wear pajamas and we didn't, but we wore comfortable clothes and some eye masks. This is a cool eye mask where, yes, Kelly, sleep. This one actually, you can hook up your phone to it. You can play music. You can hook up the app directly to it. It's like a Wi-Fi eye mask. I don't use all that. I just like that it's dark, so it blocks out any type of light that I might get from any device or from the natural sun outside. And it's super dark, so I can fall right to sleep. So I agree with you, Angela, on that tip of getting ready for bed. So really quickly, I'm going to read you guys some other things that you might want to take into consideration as part of a bedtime routine. So to wind down, think about just like what you do with your kids, you know, take a calming bath before you go to sleep, brush your teeth, of course, oral hygiene is super important. Calming music, like we talked about, meditation, deep breathing, relaxation exercises, gratitude journal. Now, this is one thing that I do, whether I'm writing it or I'm talking it to my higher power, or I'm talking it into my phone to capture my thoughts. I get it out because that allows me to, again, get those thoughts out my brain, so my brain is not constantly working when I'm trying to sleep, so my body can then shift to healing and repairing. Read a book like Kelly says. Make it quiet time. Maybe start putting on some of that meditation music to get to quiet time. Turn off all the electronics and just have some dialogue with your kids, with yourself. It's nothing wrong with having dialogue with yourself. I do it all the time. And some tips for better sleep is to make sure that you do not, now this is something that's very unique to myself, but this is from the experts. You do not want to eat too late. So technically, we shouldn't eat no more than 3 hours before our bedtime. That's why you might hear people say 7 o'clock, aim for 7 o'clock. The last time you should eat a meal should be no later than 7 o'clock. Some people do 6 o'clock. But if you can, it really depends on when you go to bed. But the later you eat, the less likely you are to have that metabolism work that off. And what that means is that you are taking all that energy you just put in your body from the food that you eat, whether it is snacks or actual food, and you're making your body work to burn that off instead of allowing your body to do what it's designed to do at night while you sleep, and that is healing and repairing your system. So it's very important that we pick a time to stop eating, no late night eating, no late night snacking, shut down that caffeine as much as possible. Do not fall into the myth that alcohol helps you sleep. right? You do not get to that REM sleep that Kelly was talking about when you have alcohol in your system. So as much as possible, cut that off. If you are going to drink something liberally, do it during dinner time. And so that way that has time to get out your system along with the food. Some people use warm milk, herbal tea. I am a tea person at night. There is a such tea called sleepy time tea. That helps. Yogi has great teas. It's a lot of different teas that can help you get to that point in your brain where you need to kind of rest. Stay away from smoking late at night. Let's see, we already talked about caffeine. It's a lot of different options that you can choose from to help you get into a nice bedtime routine so you can then get to that REM sleep sooner rather than later. We'll have all those resources on our website. But yeah, I'll stop there. But it's a lot of great information that we have available to help you through this process. And for you, Christina, if you find that your son, who's very energetic, which is quite normal for a 2-3-year-old, if you both do a similar routine together and make it like a fun mommy son time, this is what we're doing. It'll be like a nice, easy, I'm very like animated. So it'll be a nice, easy transition, or a nice transition, a nice calming transition to get you both ready to start to calm down. So take away those electronics when you're able to, and just have conversation with your son, do this routine together, and see if that helps, and report back to our Wellness for You Facebook group.
Yeah, there's lots of tips for getting better sleep. A quick word about caffeine. So just like you might want to establish a time that you're not going to eat past at night, like Michelle said, maybe 3 hours before you, as part of your routine, you're just not going to eat after that certain amount of time. You may, if you're a coffee drinker, or if you drink caffeine during the day, you might consider also cutting that off at a certain time of the day. Because, caffeine lingers in your system and is a stimulant. So it might keep you up, making it very difficult to fall asleep or stay asleep. A lot of people have success like stopping the coffee and the pop and stuff like that by like noon at lunchtime. And remember that it's not only in coffee and pop, but it's in black tea, green tea, chocolate, some medications. So like even your children, they're not coffee drinkers probably, but they might be drinking pop or eating chocolate or drinking chocolate milk or something even that contains some caffeine. So, if you guys are having a problem drifting off to sleep, think back to your caffeine intake throughout the day and maybe move it up a little earlier. That could help too. It was on that bedtime routine, like to tidy up your room. Studies show that having like a clean and comfortable bedroom where there's not a lot of like piles of stuff or piles of clothes, because that just can be distracting. You're trying to drift off to sleep and you're looking around this room of all this stuff you have to do. So there is something to be said for keeping your room nice and clean and comfortable, making sure you're wearing comfortable pajamas, also like comfortable sheets and pillows. And, we've probably all had that experience of like sleeping at a hotel, maybe where we get this excellent night's sleep. And it's because the pillow was so great or the sheets were so great. I think in some cases it's worth the investment, like to get a nice cozy blanket and good pajamas. There's nothing worse than like that tag itching you in the middle of the night or something. Like, make sure you're comfortable. In fact, does anybody know how often it's recommended that you replace your pillows and your mattress? Has anyone heard any recommendations? Like, at what point should you take a look and see, maybe my mattress is just getting old and it's like interfering with my sleep, or pillows for that matter? I'm wondering what you've heard. But some other environmental things to remember. Comfortable temperature. Now, it's probable that you're like sharing a bedroom with someone and maybe you guys don't agree on the appropriate temperature for the bedroom. But what we know is that a comfortable temperature of about 65 degrees is what's recommended. So, cooler is better than warm. And another piece of advice, try not to exercise 2 or 3 hours before bedtime. Now, like Michelle and I are talking about being physically active and getting plenty of exercise. And it's possible that that's just the time of day when you have that spare time to get a workout in. Just remember, when you work out, you're getting warm and your body needs to kind of be cooling off to drift off to sleep. So you just don't want to work out right before bed so that you're all like heated up. It's just going to make it a little harder to drift off to sleep. There's also aromatherapy options. You know, some people like have those essential oils. I know we're offering those as part of our prizes today. Specific ones like lavender, sage, and basil, you might not have known, are scents that are helpful for calming us down. So if that means you have some kind of like a oil diffuser or fresh lavender next to your bed or something like that, just that scent has been known to be helpful for sleep too. Let's see what people are saying about the pillows and the mattresses. So Angela has heard that she should replace her pillow when it starts flattening out. That's probably a really good idea.
Yeah. So, she says she haven't heard of that. I just got a new pillow when it starts flattening out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here. Same here, Angela. I need to get the pillow that Kelly said that she has. She's had it for a while, so I need one of those.
Yeah, I have it right here as a prop.
Nice.
Can't see the brand, but yeah, this is a really nice one. So what they're saying, the Better Sleep Foundation and some of these other experts are saying that like maybe after 1 or 2 years, you should replace your pillows. Michelle and I had a discussion about it. It maybe should be a little sooner than that. But I mean, realistically, you might get like 1 or 2 years out of your pillows. But yeah, you should absolutely replace them if they're like totally flat or just not that comfortable anymore. Mattresses, if you didn't know, the recommendation is like 7 to 10 years is the standard life of a mattress. So might be something to look at if possible.
Yeah, and if I could kind of transition us to our next question that we have for you guys, and we can use that for a trivia because I don't think anybody responded to that question that we just had. So I want to ask you guys something else. You might have heard of this. It's pretty popular now, but we want to ask you, what is the name of the hormone that tells our body when we're tired and helps us to sleep? Does anybody out there know the name of that hormone? I personally take it every night. I take it every night. So I'm just curious if anybody else knows the name of the hormone, and you might not even know it as a hormone. You just might know it as a trendy thing that you've been hearing. I'll give you a hint. It starts with the same letter as the first letter in my name. I think I said that right. Did I say that right, Kelly?
That's right.
Yeah. Starts with the M. Does anybody know the name? Starts with the M. Yes, Christina, I was about to say ends with the M.
Got it.
Melatonin. Yes. Melatonin. So I take it every night. So just give you a little facts on it, but it is something that we naturally produce within our body. But because of all the things that are going on with our food sources and things of that nature, many of us don't have enough of it, or we might be getting like chemically induced versions of melatonin based on all the other things that we're consuming throughout the day. But our brains make this naturally, organically. Okay, it's the most organic form of melatonin that you will ever find in any stores. We already have it inside. Okay, and our brains make melatonin during the day in the light. It starts working when the sun goes down and when we shut the lights off to sleep. Make sure that your room is as dark as possible. So just because you did not know about this, Angela, you actually are already ahead of the game because you said you do just that, getting ready or as a part of your bedtime routine, that you make sure everything is as dark as possible. So you're already preparing your brain to produce that for you in an organic and natural way. You want to eliminate any sources of light from your windows, doors, etc. Red light interferes with that least. Blue light interferes with melatonin the most. So those are just some techie, little insight things about melatonin to be aware of, but we do produce it naturally. There are some studies that suggest that cherries contain a substance similar to melatonin. So it's not melatonin, but it is something similar to it. So if you're not allergic to cherries, it might be worthwhile you including that in your diet. There are also melatonin supplements like the ones that I take. I literally just discarded my bottle. I got it from Walgreens. It's a purple and white bottle. Once I buy another one, I'll post it on our Wellness for You Facebook page. But they have them at Walmart. They have them at Target. You can find them at your local drugstores. But you do want to check to make sure it's a great source of melatonin. Most importantly, you want to ask your PCP about it, okay? Because they could find that it's a need to do some other tests. So have a discussion with them about melatonin, that you just learned about it from a session such as this, and you just want to hear more about it and see if it would be a benefit to you and your ability to get a good night's rest. And I just want to say that light therapy can also help your body make more melatonin naturally during the day. And so we gave out some mood lights earlier this year at the top of the year, or maybe at the end of last year. But do some natural things to increase your supply of melatonin inside. But then when you need a supplement, like I take a supplement, I know I don't get enough vitamin D like many of us. And so all of that ties into one another. So just want to give you some little insight as to melatonin and why it's so popular. It's really trendy now, but we've always had it in our bodies.
I'm glad you said that. It is a supplement, and I'm glad you said that about vitamin D, because just like anything that your body makes, you don't necessarily need to take a supplement if you can get your body like efficiently making enough of its own. And you make melatonin when you're out in the light throughout the day. And then as soon as you shut the lights off, it triggers that melatonin to say, oh, it's time for bed. And I think that's why some people that work like second shift or third shift and are kind of backwards, trying to sleep when it's light outside, that's what's making that hard, is that whole melatonin thing is kind of backwards. So yeah, if there's a way to like get a little bit more light during the day and have your room as dark as possible at night, you're going to make more of that natural melatonin and maybe not have to take a supplement of it.
Yeah.
So shift work is always something that comes up with people that don't get good sleep. And it's because, they're trying to sleep when everybody else is awake. And it makes things kind of complicated. But there are like ways to darken the room and try to get the room as quiet as possible. And there's light therapy and things like that you can do to make this melatonin. So if that's something you're struggling with, there's resources on how to combat that. It seems like the issue that came up more than once on today's webinar or on today's session is like going back to sleep, like waking up during the night and then not being able to fall back asleep. And some of what's recommended for that is that gratitude journaling and keeping a diary or doing like a relaxation exercise. What the experts say to do if you like wake up in the middle of the night and you have a hard time getting back to sleep is repeat your bedtime routine. So whatever it is that you're doing to like get going to sleep the first time, just repeat that. So like for me, it would be, I'd probably pull my book out and read for 15, 20 minutes. And the thought is that would lull me back to sleep because now I'm just repeating my bedtime routine. Some other things to consider is, if it's being anxious and worried that's waking you up, like you're thinking about what you have to do the next day, or you're just anxious or worried about something you read online or heard on the news or something like that. It might be helpful to like make a to-do list before you go to sleep, or just journal or write down your worries. That way you're kind of getting them out of your mind so that you're not going over and over them where it's waking you up, and keeping you from falling asleep. Also, shutting those devices off and maybe just not listening to the news or reading like this stuff online that's going to kind of get in your head and, give you a sleepless night. Maybe that should be part of your bedtime routine if you feel like it's like being worried that's waking you up. And of course, if waking up is because you have to use the bathroom or some other issue, there might be a physical or more medical reason for that. So if it continues to be a problem and none of our suggestions are really helping, then you might want to talk to your primary care provider and just see if there's some kind of underlying reason why you're waking up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and if we could do one final thing we want to do with you guys is a call to action. Okay, call to action. I think we have a nice image that we can put up there to just ask you guys to try some of these things out and see if it will work in your favor. And if not you might have a friend or family member who struggles with getting sleep as well. So you guys can challenge each other, do it together, pass the word on. So assess your sleep environment. We talked about that. The assessing sleep goes along with the journal that Kelly talked about. Stick to a sleep schedule. Okay, so that's going along with that nighttime routine. Get at least 30 minutes of sunlight every day. That goes along with the American Heart Association recommendation of at least 30 minutes physical fitness. So you can literally tie two things in with one goal: 30 minutes of sunlight, 30 minutes of activity. Get out there, get moving, and you will help yourself get a better night of sleep and also improve your health, your heart health. Eat healthy meals and get exercise every day. Boom, I just said that, but that goes along with it. Manage your worry. So work on not internalizing things so much and get it out in a journal. Get it out through talk therapy. And we also offer that at NFP. And all in all, this will all help you get better sleep so you can meet your goals of getting at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. So those are some great ways that you could challenge yourself to get that better sleep. And we'll, again, have all these resources available to you on our website that you can refer to right after this session at a later time when you think about it. We'll also have them on our Wellness for You Facebook page. We have some more tips and tricks on how to overcome many different type of barriers that impact our ability to sleep for a full night and be really rested in the morning. And we'll add that list to our Wellness for You Facebook group as well. And then continue to engage with us on that platform and let us know how you're doing, not only with your sleep health, but your overall health and wellness, your goals that you set for yourself at the top of the year. If you didn't set any goals or something shifted in your life and you need to switch your goals, whatever your goal is now. So engage with us on that platform, and we can just keep the discussion going and continue to connect and continue to support each other on that platform.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us again today. If you didn't realize, we have been providing these Wellness for You sessions for a whole year now. So we're about to have a 1-year birthday. But all of the content that we've provided over the last year is all on the website and all on Facebook. So if you missed any of our sessions, now might be a good time to go back and see what you've missed, or revisit some of the topics. If you're wanting to make a new recipe or you missed something, go check us out on the website. All the videos are there. And like Michelle said, please keep engaging with us on Facebook. That's how we get a lot of our feedback, so we know what kind of things you guys are needing from us. And we really appreciate you joining us all this time for these sessions.
Yeah, and then really quick, I want to just mention about those that have won the trivia challenges or questions, and you want a gift. So there have been some people I haven't been able to connect with. So Angela, if you could put your email in the chat. For those of you who have won and I haven't been able to get in contact with you, I sent a message to your Facebook inbox. I think it might be called Instant Message or Facebook Messenger. So check your inbox message. And if you don't see it, reach out to me directly. And I will also reach out to you again through that point if I don't have an email for you, so we can connect and I can get you your gifts that will assist you with your overall wellness journey. So thank you for tuning in today. Reach out to us again, stay connected, and let us know how you're doing with all of your goals and your overall health and well-being on our Wellness for You Facebook group.
And tell your friends.
Yes, yes. This was a great session. Now I am going to prepare dinner and have some family time, and I'm going to transition to go to sleep probably around 8 o'clock. I won't go to sleep at 8 o'clock, but I'll start transition to go around, 8 o'clock, start that transition.
Yep, start that bedtime routine.
All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. Until next time, take care, and we will see you soon, hopefully in person. You never know.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey.